The Mana series is fantastic. What's the fourth game like? Well, let's take a look at Dawn of Mana. Dawn of Mana released on May 22nd, 2007 on the PlayStation 2, and at the time of this recording, it remains an exclusive title to the console. Welcome back to part 4 and the final part of my Road to Visions of Mana series. Dawn of Mana is the fourth mainline release of the Mana series, and this is the fourth and final part of my Road to Visions of Mana series. I am here to give my honest, unhinged, and fair thoughts on Dawn of Mana. Before we start though, have you played Dawn of Mana? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Would you suggest it to someone looking to play an action RPG? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It's time to begin. Let's talk about Seiken Densetsu 4, also known as Dawn of Mana. The Mana series is... well, let's be completely honest. The game stories are not all that intricate. More or less, each Mana title follows the same story structure, but that's okay. The story of Dawn of Mana was written by Ryo Akagi, based on a story created by Masato Kato. As I said, the story of Dawn of Mana isn't super unique, but it's really the different characters, their personalities, and how they interact with one another that really makes us love the series. Dawn of Mana takes place in the land of Fadiel, which is composed of 5 nations: Jad, Topple, Ishe, Wendell, and Lorimar. The Tree of Mana is currently dormant, and the world seems to be at peace. You play the role of Keldric, a Mana maiden named Ritzia's knight. One day, while out chasing after Ritzia's pet in the land of Elucia within Fadiel, Elucia gets attacked by King Shroud of Lorimar. Unsure of what to do, Keldric and Ritzia run towards the Tree of Mana, expecting King Shroud to attack the legendary beast that rests beneath the giant tree. While searching for this beast, a seed of mana attaches to Keldric, giving him the power to have that seed transform into a sword, whip, or slingshot. Amongst all this, a mana child is found named Faye, who decides to join Ritzia and Keldric. King Shroud eventually catches up to Keldric and Ritzia, and it turns out that King Shroud is not looking for the legendary mana beast, but instead is looking for Ritzia with the intention of using her to open a portal to an ancient land of darkness known as Mavolia. Shroud then succeeds in kidnapping Ritzia, thus beginning Keldric's adventure alongside Faye to save both Ritzia and the land of Elucia. Honestly, the story of Dawn of Mana is serviceable. Yeah, it's typical mana fare, with needing to save a mana maiden and progressing through dungeons, saving the world from never-ending darkness. Same old, right? Yeah, sure, but the storytelling of Dawn of Mana is really well done, and the cutscenes have real feeling to them thanks to the graphics and music. If you've played a Mana game, you know what to expect. But isn't that something we really need when it comes to a series we love? Familiarity, but just a little change here and there. You may have heard that Dawn of Mana is terrible, but I've only said positive things about it. Well, let's talk about why people don't care for Dawn of Mana. It's all because of the gameplay. Oh, Dawn of Mana, your gameplay. Are you ready to hear me roast the heck out of this game? I sure hope so, because that's what the next little bit is going to be all about. Dawn of Mana is, well, gameplay-wise, it's the worst action platformer I have ever played. The gameplay mechanics, the movement, the attacking, everything is just so horrible. I had to force myself to finish this game. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. It took me 3 attempts to try and play through this trash heap. Yes, it was that bad. But you're probably wondering how a game could be this bad when we have games like Secret and Trials of Mana behind it. Well, let's talk about that. First things first, leveling is temporary. I know, right? That seems incredibly pointless for an RPG, doesn't it? Why fight enemies if what you're going to do really isn't going to amount to anything long term? Dawn of Mana is separated into chapters. In every chapter, your stats go back down to 1. Your HP, your MP, your strength, your sword level, and whip level are all reset back down to basic levels. And Dawn of Mana doesn't have a conventional level up system either. Dawn of Mana employs a stun mechanic. You can use the environment to startle enemies. This can be something like throwing rocks at your enemy or dropping a log near the enemy. You can even throw one enemy at another. While startled, enemies will not attack. It's almost like a stun state, and you can attack them to knock out medallions. As you collect these medallions, they will increase corresponding stats. You can raise your HP, MP, and level up your sword and whip level. The more medallions you collect, the stronger you become. As you level up your sword and whip, you get new abilities. For example, your sword combo increases in numbers of hits, or you can perform other actions with your whip, like twirling items or enemies. This helps you get all through the chapter, but once you beat the boss, all those weapon levels, medallions, and collected get transformed into lucre, the currency of the game. So the following chapter, you start from scratch. It defeats the purpose of grinding and makes it pointless. As someone who enjoys grinding and power leveling, this was a huge disappointment. Furthermore, you may have remembered me mentioning a slingshot. The slingshot allows you to shoot pebbles to damage enemies or knock down pieces of the environment to startle enemies. And later on, you can shoot elementals at enemies, letting you burn or freeze enemies, which can also startle them. It's a nice mechanic, but more often than not, I've found myself too nervous to use the various elementals because they seem to be necessary to get past various obstacles or defeat the boss. It kind of defeats the whole purpose of it. Beyond that, the platforming. Oh dear goodness me, the platforming. This game has some of the most agonizing and frustrating platforming known to man. As a comparison, the platforming in Kingdom Hearts was so much more tolerable. Do you remember Deep Jungle? That was agonizing, but I would prefer it so much more than this. First issue is the camera. When you are trying to jump up and pull off platforming, it's almost as if the camera is being controlled by a monkey addicted to catnip. It likes to whip around like crazy for seemingly no reason at all. This makes trying to actually platform almost impossible at times. Couple this with numerous blind jumps and ledges that are far too small, it just makes for a really frustrating time. I spent far too long in areas that I shouldn't have just because I struggled to make basic jumps. It was not fun at all, and this is one of the main reasons I don't ever plan on playing Dawn of Mana ever again. See, I told you, this was gonna be an all-out roast-a-thon. Roasted more than a turkey on Thanksgiving. Alright, that's enough negativity for one video, I hope. Let's talk about the graphics and art style. Dawn of Mana is beautiful. Even whilst all the struggles I had with the game, Dawn of Mana is just an absolutely gorgeous game. This is something the Mana series has always had going for it. It started with Secret of Mana and then continued on to Trials of Mana, and Dawn of Mana is no exception. The colors and overall art style are just so amazing. One of those games that's just incredibly pleasing to the eyes. The best thing about the game, personally, is that everything was so colorful. Even in dark caves, you're not blindly running around trying to make yourself to some source of light. Caverns were lit up enough so that you get lost all on your own free will. Dawn of Mana as a whole really looks good for a PlayStation 2 game. I would dare say it's possibly one of the best looking games on the PlayStation 2. And the art style definitely contributes to that. Naoi Keita definitely outdid herself with this game. Easily some of the best character designs that the whole series has to offer. And yes, this includes Trials of Mana. Another part of Dawn of Mana that I have nothing but praise for, Kenji Ito again hits it out of the park with non-stop great composing. Easily, my favorite has to be Rising Sun, the title theme. It's so calming and relaxing, almost like running across an open field without a care in the world. Every single piece of music just feels super appropriate and welcoming. Dawn of Mana has one of those soundtracks that you can just put on if you need to lull yourself into dreamland. It's that good. Kenji Ito just knows what he's doing, and Dawn of Mana possibly has one of my favorite OSTs of all time. Sure, not all of the themes in this game are relaxing and calm. For example, the boss theme is just so damn good. I'm no musician, but I know what I like, and boy howdy do I love this soundtrack. If you have a chance, go give it a listen. You 100% will not regret it. You'll be jamming out to it before you know it. Just know that the music of this game far exceeds the quality of the game itself. Don't get suckered into playing it. That will be the biggest mistake you'll ever make. Now more positivity! Woo! I'll be honest. I went into this review hoping to roast Dawn of Mana to the heavens, but honestly, it's not entirely bad. Dawn of Mana is a respectable length. For a single playthrough, you're looking at maybe 15 to 20 hours, depending on how much exploration you do and how much difficulty you have with the platforming. Dawn of Mana does offer multiple difficulties in playthroughs though. It has a New Game Plus of sorts. Remember all those medallions and collectibles? Well, they go towards New Game Plus perks, such as starting a chapter with your sword at a higher level, or starting with increased HP, making future playthroughs a little more bearable. I mean, I wouldn't wish multiple playthroughs of this game on my worst enemy, but if you want to suffer the pain of 1,000 suns, then, feel free. Feel free to play through this torture chamber again and again. As for pacing, it isn't terrible. Cutscenes are pleasant, and they don't feel overly long. Dungeons play out pretty well. Some chapters are longer than others, but that might just be a me problem, as I got stuck on platforming sections much more than I want to admit. As well as I kinda have the navigation abilities of a moldy mop. Generally though, the pacing feels just right, probably due to grinding not being a necessity in this game, so no complaints there, but everything else? Yes, you suck, Dawn of Mana. You are the suckiest suck that ever sucked.
I've seen teams suck before, but they were the suckiest bunch of sucks that ever sucked.
So there you have it. Dawn of Mana absolutely fails as far as gameplay is concerned, but still does have some enjoyable aspects. Would I suggest you to play it? No. Stay away. Watch a Let's Play. Let someone else suffer while you relax to the amazing soundtrack and beautiful art style. I'm sorry, Square Enix. You could have done so much better with this game. If you would just remake this game in the same style that you did Trials of Mana, or maybe like how Vengeance of Mana is looking, then absolutely, it might be worth a playthrough. But for the time being, stay away from this original release. Have you suffered, played Dawn of Mana? If so, what did you think about it? And if not, has this review convinced you to run far, far away like your life depends on it? Let me know in the comments below. I swear, most of my reviews are positive, but I had to make an exception for Dawn of Mana. It was a terrible time, and I feel like I need to go through therapy after how bad this game was. If you enjoyed this video and want more JRPG content, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and ding that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future JRPG shenanigans. This has been Shinky, everyone's favorite cactus. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, have a wonderful day.
Super Retro Force.